this flow, and providing the birds remain quiet, I will continue with the video. Now, I saw a video yesterday where the person designed something and then they imported it into Design Space, which meant that we couldn't get it. Any uploaded images are not shareable. So what I did was I wanted to make a joy card similar to what she did. So I went to images, which is over here, and then I searched card, and hopefully this will come up fairly quickly, and these are the card corners, and maybe I should have put card corners in there because it might take a wee while to get down to them. And so I'll just flip down here. No, it might take a wee while, so I'm going to put in card corners and we'll have a look and see what comes up with that. I'll go click on that again. Now, here are card corners in the cards themselves. So if you've got a card, you can do these on the maker or the ear. Now, what I want is card corners, so I'm just going to pick this one. It's the first one, but I'm not worried. And I'm going to insert that onto my mat. Now, you've got to remember that if you're designing for the Cricut Joy, the card is already in there. Now, this is 4 inches by 5.25, and remember we've got a 4.25 card and a 5.5 in length. Now, that sounds like a reasonable amount of room, but what I have found is that it cuts very close to the right hand edge if I leave it like this. I don't know quite what I'm doing, but it does, and it cuts very close to the top and bottom. It doesn't seem to give me quite enough room. So what I've done is I've gone to the 4 and I've put in 3.8 because that just gives me a fraction more. Now, I've left it locked so it goes down both sides, and it's taken it down just a fraction. Now, I'm going to put this over to one side because I'm going to show you what the lady did was she put in text, and she put in, because it's going to cut, she put the text in as now what did she put it in? Thank you. And then I'm going to put you. We'll start off with the thank you part of the text. Now, what she did is she designed this in another program, so she could write the thank you and change it around. And I'm going to show you how to use the things that are already in Design Space. Now, thank you, we could just make little holes in these and do that, but Cricut has some stencil cuts in there. First of all, I want the thank you separate, so I'm going to go to Advanced and go ungroup to lines firstly, and then I will see what I'm going to do. She did it on a curve. Now, if we want to do our letters on a curve, we can curve our letters in Design Space. So that's providing you're using the desktop version, because they can't be curved in the apps. So just be aware of that. Now, when I go to the fonts, I want a Cricut font so that I can share it, and I want a stencil font. So I'm going to write stencil in there. Now, make sure that my filters are off because I want a cutting one, and I want Yep, that's all. So I'm going to make sure the filters are cleared, and I'm just going to put stencil and do stencil. Now there's several fonts already in here that are stencil fonts, so I'm going to choose a variety of them. Now that's thank you, and you will see that each of these fonts will write and it will stay on the page that you're doing. Now we can use the curve, and we can go frownies to the right, and we can do smileys to the left. So we'll just put the thank you up there. Now as you can see, it's way too big, so I'm just going to put that up there and just make it fractionally smaller, as we don't want it too big and to overpower things. Now here's the U, and I'm going to, now at the moment we can only do smiley and frowny ones, but if we do the U, you can actually see that it spreads out and it's not so great. We could move it together, but let's go and see what another Cricut font is going to be. Again, we've got our stencil, and it comes up where you last left off now, so that's really great, and it's so much easier when you're doing things. Now here's a font. Now it's not really parted, and so if we were wanting to use this, I'm going to make it slightly bigger, and you can see the U would cut out, the Y would cut out, that would be fine, but the O's only got a tiny bit in there. So what I'm going to do to make it into a stencil font is I'm going to get a box under the shapes, and our box comes up where we're working now, which is really fabulous. Now I'm just going to make that like that. I'm going to unlock it, and I'm going to make this box just tiny, and in order to get the width I'll have to go up here, and it's 0.083. Now I could probably make that 0.001 is a tenth of an inch, so 0.083 is not too bad. And if I put this, now I'll go back to the word and I'll straighten it again, because it'll be easier if it's straight to get that. Yeah, I'm not quite in the centre, am I? I'm playing around too much. Right, now I'm going to take my little stick, as I call it, and I'm going to put it right down the bottom of this, and then I'm going to highlight this by just dragging, and you only have to drag over part of an image now for it to highlight, and you can see slices down here. So I've clicked on slice now, and I'll be able to take that bit out, and if I move the U up, you can see that this little piece has come out twice. So we'll take those off the map, and then I'm going to bring it back down here so I don't have too much. And I'm going to angle this one a little, because the O's sort of on an angle there, so I'm going to sort of just chop off a bit more. Now I'm going to do something a bit funny with this one. I'm going to, now I'm just working with my mouse here, and as most people will realise, when you're working with your mouse, sometimes it goes in the right place and sometimes it doesn't. Here we go, you're slicing again, and I'm going to take that out, and you can see that that's come out, but now it's got a sharpish edge on. So I'm going to go up, down the bottom on the right hand side. You can increase the size of your screen. You're not increasing anything on it, you're just increasing the size of it. So now I'm going to bring this little tiny piece here, and I'm going to bring it back down here, and I'm going to say, well, you weren't in the right place before because we needed to cut a little bit of you out, but now I can move you back across there, make that rounded as it should be, and put you back in there. So to do that, I'm just going to leave that there for a minute because I'm going to chop a little bit out of the Y as well. So I'm just being crafty and using the same little bit of stick that I had before. And again, I'm going to move this. Whoop. We moved that out of the way, didn't we? Tell you what, let's put this one up here so that we know what we're doing. Oh, I had two bits there, so that wouldn't have been much good, would it? So I'm going to move the Y and bring it over to there. And I'm going to use the Y and slice some little bits out of the Y. Now, those little bits need sort of rounded edges as well. So, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take these bits away now, and those are the bits that I don't need, and I'm going to put this one back on top of the O. Oh, there. And in order to have the Y look good, I'm going to rotate this, and I'm going to put it on the Y so that it makes it look as if our Y was in the right place. Yeah, you can see I've just rotated it a little bit there, and it's not going to do what I want it to, so I might rotate it a little bit more. And if I know which one it is, I can go in and get it. Now, if I move that, it's going to... Let's do it one at a time. First of all, I'm going to take this and... Aha, we've sliced it. And because we've sliced it, we can't go back and ungroup it. So, what we're going to have to do is we can't ungroup the letters once we've fiddled around with our text. So if we're going to do this, we need to do it, if we're going to ungroup it, we need to do it before that. So I'm going to weld that now. Oh dear, that didn't work. Okay. Now, 1, 2, and get that one, and we want to weld it, and it's gone. Now, okay, that's very interesting because we're going to go back, and now I'm going to go back, I'm going to put this one in, hopefully, and hopefully I will get that in the right shape to put on the Y. If I don't, I'm going to do something else. Now, I think it's this one, and I'm going to just bring it down one space with that. I don't know that that's going to work. Here we go, it did. Okay, I'm now going to group that, and now I've grouped it, I'm going to go weld, and it's done it again. So we're going to ungroup it, and now I'm going to leave it grouped, but I'm going to bring it down in size. So that now is your normal size. It's grouped, it's attached, and now I'm going to go weld, and it's still done it. So for some reason it doesn't like welding that. It doesn't like welding that little thing on there. So I'm going to try something else. And this is actually quite fascinating, because what I'm going to do now is I have to detach it, and I will possibly have to ungroup it. So if I ungroup it, then what I'm going to do now is, okay, it's still got the two separate pieces in there. So now I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to ungroup it, I'm going to duplicate it again. Now, because there's extra pieces in there, I have to ungroup that in order to get that done. I'm going to go to contour. Now, with contour, I'm now going to say, contour comes in at very large sizes sometimes, and I just have to go down so that I can actually see what I'm dealing with. Now, I need it a bit bigger than that, but I want the O and I want the other piece. So I'm going to take these pieces out, and I'm just going to deal with the O. So now we go back up here, and now I've got the O here, and it's got a little piece that I want to attach to it there. Now I'm going to just work with the O and see if that welds together, and it did. So that's amazing, and it's because I'm only using just two simple images. So sometimes when these things happen, you've got to find a workaround. So if we've now got our O, now I'm going to do something. Now our U looks all right, but our U could do with a little bit of a roundy bit on there, and of course that would be done very similar. So we'll just duplicate that little tiny piece there, and we'll see if we can get this. Firstly, our Y needs to be there, so I'm going to do that. Duplicate it again. It's always good if you duplicate things and work with the one that you've duplicated, because once you've done that, you can ungroup them and do what you want with them. Now we need that little bit on the Y, and we need another little bit on the Y. So what I'm going to do now is contour out the O. Again, it's gone really large. Hang on, we'll just get in the right place. There we go. We're going to contour out the O and the U, I think, or we're going to contour out the Y and the, well, you can do it either way. Okay, we're going to contour out the Y and keep the O, keep the U. So there we go. Now, as you can see, the U comes a little bit in here, and when we want to do that, we could actually make this so that that was a little bit rounder there, or this was a little bit rounder here. I think this one here was the one that might be in the right place. We'll put that one over there, and if we enlarge that, we can probably see it better, but I'm just working on the fact that I can do that like that, and I'm going to leave it straight up and down. I could actually probably take a little bit more out of the U and make that straight. So if we did that, it probably would look a little better. So but at the moment I've got the Y and the U. So okay, we'll do that. do get very pedantic when I'm doing these things. So you'll be able to see that you can certainly do these things, and it just takes quite a bit of time. So if you're wanting to do something like this, you might like to download from DaFont a font that is already in the is already a stencil font. Sorry, I'm just trying to cut this a tiny bit off, and it's not going to work for me, is it? So let's just see whether that works and makes a little bit of difference. So, no, not a lot, but we've got the U up there now, and now I'm going to play around with the Y. So I won't do this to all of them, but one of the things I'll show you that I did, first of all, I'm going to duplicate it again, and I know this is going over and over things, and you'll see that it doesn't come up because it needs to be ungrouped. Now once it comes up, I can pick it and go contour. Again, I'm going to go down to where I can see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to take out the bits that I don't want, and you can see that the O is all one, and I'm going to take out this piece of the Y and put that back in, and now we've got a Y that's there, but I wanted to extend the Y. So again, I'm going to duplicate, and I want the other part of the Y, so ungroup, and click. Now we can do our contour, and contour is one thing that doesn't go back to where it was the last time, so we're just going to try this. We can click on these bits, or we can click on the pieces on the right hand side, and if you see the pieces on the right hand side at the moment, you'll see that we've got all of these bits, so we don't want that bit and we don't want that piece, so we can take them out. Now what we have here is we have the rest of the Y. Now that would cut a nice long Y, so you'd have a curly Y at the bottom. So now we want a little piece that's going to connect it. So now I'm going to get another square, and squares are amazing things because you can do all sorts of things with them, not the least of which is change them into all sorts of other shapes. But you can use this one to connect the first part of the Y to the second part of the Y. Now it's not going to be perfect, I don't think, because I'm never that clever, but I'm going to try and line up the top pieces. Oh, I can hear myself saying, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. There we go. And there. Now, I put that in there. It's not perfect, so if you want it spot on, you have to do it yourself and get it done. Now my U looks very different to what it did before. Now, I don't even think that was the original one because I've sliced it up. But this is the one that I now want, and I can have it as a big one or as a small one. But now I'm going to put this and I'm going to weld it all together. Now that I've welded it all together, it now makes one single image. Now, the one single image is going to make it a lot easier for the program to look at. These here have got lots of images in them, right? And each of those layers causes your program to redraw each time. So all these little bits have a lot in them. Now, you can see that this is the thank you that we've got. That's up there. These little cut bits are down here. So we don't need those little cut bits, so let's take them off. Now, those are the outside ones. And we're just going to put another thing in here. We could leave that as a thank you. You could put essential workers, and what I did with the essential workers is I'll show you. Oh, that's a pretty one, isn't it? Now, I think that's the one we were using, wasn't it? And it's called Girly Stencil. But the one I used, I think, it's a Martha Stewart one. Maybe, no, it looked a really pretty one. Well, sometimes we just have to put it in. There we go. That one is Iwan Stencil Pro, IWAN Stencil Pro, and it's a single layer. It's in Design Space. Now, with Essential, what I did there was I had mine going up and down. So, excuse me, I went back to Images, and I sliced out corners, and I put shapes. Now, shapes is interesting because you have, by the look of it, 9,000 of them. But I wanted a quick shape that I was going, what about that one? Now, this shape is going to go up and down, but at the moment it's just going to come in. So I'm going to rotate it like that, and maybe like so. And then I'm going to bring it over here, because what I want to do with this is just simply use it as a pattern to put things on. Now, this is, we're going to go to Advanced, and because it's a font, I can ungroup to letters. And each of these letters now, I'm going to bring over, and I'm going to put on the curve. I'm using the green curve, so that's just where I think they'll fit. Okay. Now, remember, I'm going to take this green curve away again afterwards, so, and the yellow one, of course. But although it was very easy for her in another program to do this, I'm just showing how it doesn't matter if you don't have the other programs. There is an amazing amount you can actually do in Design Space itself. So if you want to play around with Design Space, this is the type of thing that I play around with, which means that I take an awful lot of time to do anything. Now, I now have an essential that is both up and down, but it's not quite in the right place for me. I want it a little bit higher than that. So I'm going to click on the outside bar here, move this to the side so that I can get Essential and group it, and I could actually weld that so that it's not so many things and it's in the shape that I want it. So now I'm going to bring this back so that I know where it's going to go. Now when I bring that back, I've got Essential sitting there and I am able to move it across. Sometimes it goes behind, and when you're dealing with no background it can be hard to see that. Now I wanted that up there a little bit, and then I'm going to put another text in saying workers. Now this is not quite what the other card said, but it's what I'm going to use, and I'm going to again change the font. Let's have a look what the Mondo font looks like. No, now although that might be a stencil one, it doesn't really look great, so we'll just check and make sure we're on stencil ones. There's the glazier one. Oh, that one looks more like a workers, doesn't it? Working workers, and very much a stencil one. So I want the workers to stand out, so I'm going to leave that like that. Now we have little spaces here, and what I'd like to do is say that we really love what they're doing with their job, and they are stars. So I'm going to get some little hearts, just tiny little hearts, and I'm going to get some stars. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We don't need our stars quite that big. We want to tell them that they're a star, but that we don't want to drown them in the sky. So now I'm just going to copy and paste that one, and I'll just show you the difference in this. This is, now I've just copied that, and you won't have seen that because I've done it on the computer, which was a Control C, and then I'm just going to go Control P several times. Now when I did that, a lot of the time it will, oh, okay, no, it didn't work. So right, we'll go copy. Okay, right click, copy. It's not going to copy for me. Well, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So this time we're going to go duplicate. So we've done a duplicate with the stars, and we'll do a duplicate. And there'll be something that if I stop it and restart it, it'll go again. But the thing is, I don't want to spend too much time just fiddling around with the little stars and things on here, and so I might use 3 little stars, and I'll use, might have to use 4 little stars. Oh. And as you can see, if we don't do it right, here we go, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, we need another one down here, and we'll put that in there. Now I'm going to take these away because I don't want any more of those. Now this one here is what I want the card to be like. So now I have put that all together. I'm pretty sure that that's going to cut the way I want it to. So now I am going to go either attach or weld. Now if I go weld, and we'll see whether it works. Yep, it all welded, and now it's only one piece. Now the only time I can unweld it is to do it now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unweld it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this file that I've got, and some people might not want it welded. They might want to be able to take it out and do other things with it. So I'm going to attach it. Now I'm going to make sure my Cricut Joy is loaded, and I'm going to select my Cricut Joy and go make it. Now those with the Cricut Joy will realise that they can do this, and what we're going to do is now the card has cut. I'm just going to go finish, and that's going to go back to the beginning, and hopefully I will be able to put up with this a picture of what the finished card looks like. So I hope that helps.